Slytherin had won the House Cup for 7 years in a row. 7 consecutive years. When Harry Potter arrived at Hogwarts in 1991, the standings were not even close. Slytherin was ahead by 160 points. The Great Hall at the end of year feast was already decorated in green and silver. The banners were up. Every Slytherin student in the school had spent the whole year earning those points one by one in classrooms and corridors and on Quidditch pitches. And then Dumbledore stood up, changed the decorations before saying a word, and gave Gryffindor 170 points in 5 minutes for breaking school rules. I went back through all 7 books and calculated every house point decision across every year Harry attended Hogwarts. Every point awarded, every point deducted, every last-minute intervention. And what I found is a pattern so consistent across multiple years that calling it coincidence requires ignoring the data completely. But before we get into the full calculation, there is one detail about the year 1 decision that nobody in 30 years of Harry Potter analysis has fully unpacked. And when I tell you what Dumbledore actually gave those points for specifically, you are going to look at that final feast scene very differently. Hermione Granger received 50 points for solving a logic puzzle, while illegally trespassing in a restricted area that first-year students had no permission to enter. Ron Weasley received 50 points for playing a game of chess. In the same restricted area, also illegally, Harry Potter received 60 points for finding the Philosopher's Stone, which he only found because he had snuck out of bed after hours, broken into a forbidden corridor, and spent a year sticking his nose into an investigation that Dumbledore had specifically told him to leave alone. And Neville Longbottom received 10 points for attempting to physically stop the other 3 from going at all, for following the rules and trying to enforce them, for getting hit with a full bodybind curse because he stood in a common room doorway and said you cannot go. The rule breakers got 160 points, the boy who tried to stop them got 10. And then Dumbledore changed the banners. Green to red, silver to gold, before the points were even announced. That detail is in the book. Rowling writes it clearly. Dumbledore decorates the room and then awards the points. He had already decided. He had planned it before he sat down for the feast. He let Slytherin sit in a decorated hall thinking they had won, and then he took it away from them in front of the entire school. That is not generosity. That is a specific calculation designed to land in a specific way, the final numbers. Before Dumbledore's intervention, Slytherin, 472 points. Gryffindor, 312. Ravenclaw, 426. Hufflepuff, 352. After Dumbledore's intervention, Gryffindor, 482. Slytherin, 472, a 10-point margin, after 170 points were added in the final minutes of the school year. Dumbledore did not give Gryffindor enough points to win comfortably. He gave them exactly enough to win by 10, not 20, not 50, 10, which means he calculated the margin before he stood up. He knew the exact number he needed and he gave precisely that. Only a small fraction of people watching this have subscribed to Potter Files. If you want every video we make going this deep into the data, the book's buried in the small print, subscribe now. We go deeper into the wizarding world than anyone else. Now, year 2. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. At the end of the year, the crisis was resolved. Harry killed the Basilisk. Tom Riddle's diary was destroyed. Ginny survived. Dumbledore awarded Harry Potter 200 points. He awarded Ron Weasley 200 points. 400 points for 2 students in a single moment. To understand why that number is significant, you need to understand how house points work. A student who answers a question correctly in class gets 5 points. A student who hands in outstanding work might get 10. 400 points from 2 students in one moment is not a reward. It is a reset button. It takes every point every student in every house accumulated through hundreds of individual acts across 10 months and overwrites it in a single decision. And again, Dumbledore was the one who made it, and again, Gryffindor won the House Cup. But here is the deeper argument, and this is the one the books never make explicitly, but the data forces you to confront. Quidditch is worth 150 points per match victory. A house that wins every Quidditch match gains 600 points from the sport alone across the season. Gryffindor won the Quidditch Cup in year 1, they won it in year 3. They won it in year 6. In every year they won the Quidditch Cup, they were in strong contention for the House Cup. The House Cup is presented as a measure of academic achievement and good behavior across an entire school year. It is heavily influenced by athletic performance. The smartest student in the school who hates flying contributes through classwork. The average student who plays Quidditch well contributes 150 points per win. Those two contributions are not equal, and the system never pretended they were. Now here's the argument that Slytherin fans have been making since 1997. Slytherin won the House Cup for 7 consecutive years before Harry arrived. That is not luck. That is a house that was consistently better at accumulating points through the mechanisms the system rewarded. Academic work, behavior. Whatever combination produces the highest score across 10 months. In year 1, Slytherin was on course to win an 8th consecutive cup. They had built a lead of 160 points. They had decorated the hall. They had celebrated. And Dumbledore gave Gryffindor the cup for breaking the rules he had spent a year telling everyone to follow. There is a version of this where Dumbledore genuinely believed Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville showed exceptional bravery and deserved recognition. That version is probably true, but there is also a version where the same headmaster who knew Harry was a Horcrux, who knew Harry was going to have to die, who had spent a year quietly engineering events to get Harry to face Quirrell, decided in the final feast of the year that Harry Potter deserved one good thing. One win. One moment of celebration before the years ahead. He gave him nice things while he could, like someone being extra kind to someone they know is not going to have much time left. That explanation is darker than the cheating one, and it is probably the true one. Either way, Slytherin's 7-year streak ended not because Gryffindor outperformed them over the course of a school year. It ended because the headmaster stood up at the end of year feast, changed the decorations, and handed the cup to the house he was about to send to war. The HBO Harry Potter series premieres Christmas Day, 2026. Showrunner Francesca Gardiner, the Emmy Award-winning writer from Succession, director Mark Mylod, who directed Succession and Game of Thrones, producer David Heyman, who produced all 8 original Warner Brothers films, executive producer J.K. Rowling with full creative oversight. Season 1 is year 1. The feast scene is in the book. The changed decorations are in the book. The exact point totals are in the book. Whether the show lets that scene breathe long enough for the audience to do the math is up to the writers. But the math has always been there. Gryffindor 482. Slytherin 472. 10 points. 170 added at the last minute. 7 consecutive years of Slytherin wins erased in 5 minutes. Dumbledore cheated. The books prove it. And the most unsettling explanation is not that he was biased, it is that he was right. Harry Potter needed to win something before everything that was coming, and Dumbledore made sure he did. That does not make it fair, it makes it human, and it makes Dumbledore the most complicated character in a series full of them.